Welcome in, everyone. I am the Crypto Bull God, and this is all in the charts. If you appreciate the content, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, drop me a comment, and you need to click the bell icon for all notifications to know when I go live each and every single weekday, and sometimes even on a Sunday for those weekly closes. Apologies for not getting this scheduled earlier and having it up there. I got very caught up in what I was working on and lost track of time, to be honest. So that's what was going on my end. Just really caught up in something I'm working on at work to try to figure something out. So let's see who we have in the house. Black Oil Man, always appreciated. Super chats. Man, I say it every single time you come out here. You're always super chatting me. It's very, 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 very appreciated. Todd coming in with another super chat, my friend. You just came in with a super chat the other day. Glad to see you in here as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Juan, being the enforcer today, thank you for hitting up the live stream. Oof. Let's fucking go. Guys, I am a man of my word. Welcome in, Kyle. Your Fed bag is looking really nice. Yeah, I did see that. Fetch AI is doing quite well. Those crypto AI plays, we can certainly take a look at that if you'd like. But what I wanted to do, welcome in Mazda. What I wanted to do is I am a man of my word. So I have written down here the TA Q&A questions from yesterday. And I kind of want to go in order here in terms of what I recall. I believe I had said I was going to get to Ra first. What's up, Jorge? I believe I had said I wanted to get to Ra first. So let's jump into the two TA questions that Ra did have. Yeah, Fetch is up well over $1 today, up 9%. So I was taking a look at this chart. Now, I'm not familiar with the project. It's a hell of a green Jesus. It is something from a TA perspective that to me looks very, very attractive. You know, my portfolio is very well diversified at this point. So I'm not saying I wouldn't consider taking a trade position in this. But my portfolio is just diversified enough. So there's only so many projects you can invest in or trade, right? So, but this is on my list. I did add this to my own personal watch list on future trades. We're going to do things in reverse right now. I'm going to go take all the TA questions, and then we're going to take a look at Bitcoin's price action because I did have some thoughts there. But right now we have this nice ascending channel. I have this on a 2-hour chart because there's not a lot of price data. But essentially what's happened is price is just coiling up here. We have our flat base. You can almost look at this as an ascending triangle. Once we definitively break $96.70, which is our prior all-time high, really $96.70, $100 is a psychological level. Once you see it break $100 with volume, I mean, the sky's the limit. This thing, it'll be in price discovery. So it's anyone's educated guess where this could go. This is also a lower market cap. I was taking a look at this on Coin Market Cap. This is a lower market cap. These things can fly. You know, in the heat of a bull market, you could see this thing do a 10x seemingly overnight within a month. In a couple weeks. So not saying that's what's going to happen, but for right now, Ra, this is a very, very, very nice chart. Yeah, very nice chart. There's just not a lot of price day on the 2-hour though. So that's really what I'm seeing. For the greatest level of strength, I'd like to see this ascending channel hold. If we do get a pullback in price, other areas of price confluence, Ra, that I'd like to see hold. Green is always for support. Red is always for resistance. Okay, we have an area of support right around 72.40. Okay, that lines up with the 20 simple moving average on the 2-hour as well. Looks like there's another area of support right around... I mean, it's very difficult because there's not a lot of price data, but right around $74.50. So right in this $70 range, I'd really like to see price hold. If we start losing the 70s, I mean, you're talking about, you know, we could get a dip all the way down here towards 65 to 66, and then you're not looking at additional support really until you know, lower down here in the 50s. So I want to see that $70 level hold. Okay, Ra also had a question on XDC, which really hasn't been doing anything from what I could see the past several weeks. Yeah, you can see the momentum has really been running out on this thing. Now, nothing has changed from my perspective in terms of this being a very beautiful chart. This is one that I have spoken to in the past. This is a project that I do have a YouTube video out there on. There's a lot of great symmetry within this chart, and I still like it. Nothing about that has changed. There's a key area of support that's holding right around 4.2 cents. Okay, if we extend this out, you can see we're still in this big buy zone that I had spoken about many weeks back in, looks like November. Okay, it's just taking longer than expected to see a rise up in price. We lost the ascending channel here in gray. That's not overly concerning to me. It just says there's less strength in the price, right? If we had come up here and ridden this and then continued up, that would be a higher degree of strength, right? It's losing a little bit of momentum, but the structure there in price is still extremely evident. That has not been lost. And don't lose sight of the fact that we still have higher highs and higher lows coming in here, right? What else can I see on the price? This is on the weekly. Does look like we're in some sort of a potential. Do I see a falling wedge? I mean, you might be able to draw some form of a falling wedge. Sometimes what you can do is you can put on the Heikin-Ashi candlesticks and get a different view on things. We could potentially have a falling wedge on the Heikin-Ashi candlestick formation here on the weekly. Okay, that's not surprising. You can see sort of a wider base up here and it's starting to narrow, so we could see some sort of a technical breakout based on this pattern. If we take a look at the price indicators here for XDC, I mean, stochastic RSI needs to show me something. It's all the way down here at 1. If there's any indicator that's telling you momentum has sort of stalled out on XDC, it's the stochastic RSI. It's at 1 on the weekly. But I do see a falling wedge on the Heikin-Ashi weekly. Now, I did not look at this ahead of the live stream. Notice immediately when I drew this on the candlestick formation, this is not valid because it's being drawn through the candle bodies. I automatically knew to look at the Heikin-Ashi candlesticks because I've drawn these things so many different times. But I really want to see 4.2 cents hold. If we lose 4.2 cents, there is a possibility. I mean, we could get a wick down here to 3.8, but really what would happen is you're increasing the probability we could fall all the way down here to 3 cents. So maintain 4.2 cents, and we just need to break up against these areas of resistance. That's essentially what I see in the chart, my friend. All right, let's get into, yes, would appreciate the support on the thumbs up. Let's get into Greg, a.k.a. Black Oil, his question from yesterday. So Greg had a question on Cubic, which I think I have seen has been doing quite well. Is this right? Cubic? Is this right, Greg? You had a question on Cubic the other day. I'm not seeing it. Why am I not seeing it? I feel so silly when I can't. Is this right, my friend? Really? Greg, I love the comments. If you can't send a super chat, at least hit the thumbs up. I totally agree, man. I never expect super chats. It's always nice when people do it, but yeah, it would be nice to at least get thumbs up for people tuning in because it does help the YouTube algorithm. Now, Greg, I'm not sure if this is the token you've been talking about. Somehow I doubt that it is. This can't be it. I'm going to wait for you to comment in the feed here on Cubic. Q-U-B-I-C is what I have. Yeah, I didn't think so. Why don't you hit me up with the ticker symbol so we can take a look at it, because I'm not seeing it. Unless if this is... No, this is not a stock. This was a crypto, because I know that I saw... I saw this. Give me the ticker symbol when you have a moment. I'll continue going. Cubic. That's what I put in here. It's the guy who created IOTA. Thank you, Earthwalker. And I have a question from you as well from yesterday. I mean, if this is... The price is a bunch of zeros and 673. Well, this is a bunch of zeros and 6761. Hit me, Greg, hit me up offline. Just send me a DM. I'll be on the lookout on Twitter. I'm not really sure what's going on here. I want to continue chugging along here. I'm not trying to neglect your questions or neglect you, most certainly. But make sure you just DM me and I can help chart this one out for you. I'm just not... It sounds like this isn't it. And I want to make sure I'm being helpful. Okay, I have a question in from yesterday from Earthwalker. I don't think I have this chart saved out there. Let's see. ABT arc block. Holy crap. This has gone ballistic. I am unaware of this chart. Let's look at the price data, and it looks like we're flagging at the moment. Now, this is on the daily. There's not... there's a decent amount of price data. Let's actually look at the 3-day. This is... Guys, if there was ever a textbook flagging formation, this was it. Any technical analyst, if they weren't able to point this out to you, I would really question why you're following them. Right now... we have a massive, massive, massive bull pennant. You could draw this a couple different ways from down here. You could draw from down here. Yeah, not saying that we're going to shoot right up again, but right now this thing is coiling up into a pennant formation. You can see it even better on the daily. So what do I want to see out of price? Well, first off, actually, I'm going to keep this drawn in here. And I think the way I'd prefer to draw it actually would be more like this and more like this. Okay. I'm not drawing it from the very top up here just to account for the volatility, but in terms of drawing the technical target, you would actually have the whole pole drawn like this and then take this over here at the point of breakout and go like that. Okay. But let's not get into technical targets on the pole. Let's actually, there is a bull pennant here. Let's talk about areas of support and resistance. So right now, I mean, this has had a monster move. You really got to be careful with plays like this. There's an area of support right there. Whew. Wow, look at this thing. Look at the area of support right around 87 cents. Okay. There's another area of support coming in right around here. At 95 cents. And then in terms of areas where we're really struggling, it's really not difficult to see. There's a main area of resistance at $1.30, and then really I would just have one main area up here at its all-time high at $1.63. Now, if we lose this 87 cent region, now as nice as this parabola has been, if you've been in price from way down here, let's say you got in this token at 9 cents and you've written it up to $1.62, unless you're invested in this thing for the long term, I would have been taking profits up here personally. But if you start to lose 87 cents, the thing that we always talk about on this channel, the problem with the parabola is there's not structure that is built on the way up. There are no stair steps. So if we lose 87 cents, you're talking about quite a fall down here to potentially 59 cents. And then there are no tree branches to grab onto, as I always say. And then you're talking about another region at 41 cents. And then all the way down here, I mean, that's textbook, around 32 cents. So you see this big gap right here between 87 and 56? Yeah, don't lose 87 cents. So that is what I see on ABT. But a massive bull pennant, nonetheless. Massive, massive, massive bull pennant. Massive bull pennant. And the crazy thing is you can see, I mean, you can see starting right here, okay? there's some definite bullish divergence that was developing in the chart. I mean, you can see that price was going down this entire time and sideways, and yet the relative strength index was increasing. You guys should take a look at Sushi Swap and look at the OBV on the weekly on that thing, the on balance volume. I think that thing's going to pop very hard at some point. You could see that thing running towards $3. Oof, and I'll jump to the comments in a moment here, but I want to get to my notes here in terms of, like I said, I'm a man of my word. I know Oof had a question on CQT. CQT? Let's see. And I know a lot of people have spoken about this project. Again, I'm not familiar with it. Now, there's a decent amount of price data here. It looks like this thing was introduced in mid-2022. This is ticker symbol CQT. I'm going to stick to the weekly, the higher time frames here. Okay. First off, it looks like we had a relative double bottom down here. Again, double bottoms do not need to hit the exact same price level. They just need to be in relative terms. This is actually a triple bottom. I mean, we've touched this bottom once, twice, and thrice. Okay. So we hit it 3 times, all right? Now, other areas of support that I want to see hold, and then we'll talk about what's going on with the price structure in a moment here. I definitely want to see this region hold. There's a lot of price confluence around 12 cents. I would like to see even stronger if we can hold. I know there's a couple candle bodies going through it, but it's really, you're splitting hairs. 16 cents, okay, 16 cents. Ultimately, I want to see 16 cents hold, but the beautiful thing that I like to see in this chart, I'm sure you can pick this out. You know, we got our triple bottom, right? But we have the higher highs coming in. And right now, really what we want to see is we have 2 higher highs, okay? We have this low. We want a higher low to come in, right? So it's kind of reverse, but how we say higher highs and higher lows. But higher highs and higher lows. So we would have 2 higher lows here and 2 higher highs there. That's really ultimately what I want to see. It wouldn't bother me if price came all the way back down to 16 cents. Now, a more aggressive area that would be nice if we could hold as another area of support would be 19 cents. So again, anywhere between 19 to 16 cents. We're still bullish. We're still bullish. But let's keep the momentum going. Now, in terms of keeping that momentum going and asking the question, where could we run into some resistance? Pretty obvious. There's an area right around there. You can see the wicks here, the wicks all along here, and you can see we wicked above it. This is at approximately 32.5 cents. Okay, 32.5 cents. Now, obviously, we wicked all the way up here. Is there any price confluence up there? Yeah, right. We almost touched it. There's an area of price confluence right up towards 42 to 43 cents. So this area, okay, the main takeaway here on ticker symbol CQT, Covalent, is there's a major region of resistance between 32 to 43 cents. 32 to 43 cents. Once we break that, there's not a lot of price confluence up here, and that's the beautiful thing. There's not a ton of market structure. Once you break 43 cents, this thing could really run. You could have a very serious run in this coin. I'll sketch out some areas of resistance for you, but there's really not a whole lot of price confluence. Even though I'm drawing all these lines, there's not a lot of there's just not a lot of candlesticks running into those areas of price confluence, right? So I would say this line, I'm going to actually denote this as orange. Once we clear, once in particular we clear roughly 74 cents. Now, and remember the rules of 7. Once you hit $7, $10 is likely. 70 cents, $1 is likely. $700, $1,000 is likely. And so once we get up to 74 cents and clear it, man, this thing really has the potential to start running up well over $1. Not a lot of price confluence up there. Quickly taking a look at the price indicators. We're just getting a cross up on the MACD on the weekly. If we can get a bullish weekly close, it would be awesome if we could close above 32.5 cents, man. We might have a really nice week next week. So keep an eye on this one. The chart is looking like a massive turnaround here. All right, let me get back to the comments here. And before I do, actually, let me remind everyone on Thursday, Tony the Bull, BTC, will be returning to the live stream. Of course, he was here with me. He partnered up for an awesome live stream. He was back here in late July, I believe, July 26th. I went back and listened to that live stream actually on the way back here to Pompano. Or is it Pompano? Pompano? On the way back here to Pompano Beach, and I was listening to it, and I gotta say, it was a really easy listen, and it was a great live stream. So I expect nothing of to the contrary this coming Thursday. I'm really excited to have him back on here. If you're not following him, I strongly suggest that you follow him. He's a really nice guy, and he's also a well-educated, well-versed technician in this space that puts together a lot of value-added views with a newsletter as well, which you can check out here, which I personally am subscribed to. Let's see what else we got going on in the live chat. Track, if I didn't say so already, welcome in. Glad to see you here. Derek, so glad to hear, man. So nice to hear when people pop in that routinely don't pop in, just to say, hey, man, you know, I catch these in syndication and can show up live today. I appreciate the support very much. Glad it's helping you. All right. Glad that you found that helpful, Earthwalker. Ra, make sure that you rewind to the very beginning of the live stream. I'm glad to have you on. I did take a look at the two charts that you had asked for, XDC, as well as FACT at the very top of the live stream. So make sure you check that out. Steady, are you asking me to chart something? I'm not quite sure, my friend. What's going on there? Yeah, Juan, any comments on the last CAS move? So we can certainly take a look at the volatility that's been going on in CAS, but I'd love to talk about that. It's funny, you know, sometimes you literally, you know, let me say this. As a chartist, okay, I set sell limits and buy limit orders. And sometimes those limit orders, okay, a buy limit order is I want to buy price at a certain dollar threshold, right? And you never use specific dollar levels, right? If I want to buy at $10, you don't set a buy limit order for $10. You set it for $10.11 or $10.03, right? You don't, because people will front run that nice, even psychological level. So anyway, I was looking to, as you know, I've been taking small little leverage plays, small. And I had an order out there for I think it was a 50x long. So it was either 40 or 50x long on Caspa. And I set it, and I'm not exaggerating, I set it at 16.573 cents. And my order hit perfectly. And that definitely, I've had it go the other way where I missed by like a fraction of a cent. But it hit perfectly. Only half my order was filled. But I actually closed my position because I made a ridiculous amount of money based off of what I put up on leverage. So I closed out of my position. But just to keep things 100% with you guys, I had two open positions on Casper, ticker symbol CSPR. I lost those positions due to the volatility this morning. I had a position opened on Sushi. I lost that position. But the key is, and I want you guys to keep this in mind, because I, unlike I think a lot of people out there, are being 100% transparent with you on this. The gains that I made from doing leverage, I took a lot of that and I stuck it, and I actually tweeted this out, I stuck it into Clore AI. That's a spot position, no leverage trade. I invested it, okay? The remaining money that I had left, I've been doing these little positions, okay? It's basically riding with the house's money, all right? But make no mistake, I am not sitting back here as an expert taking 30 different leverage plays and at 50x and winning out. That is not what's going on. It just takes one win. Sometimes it just takes that one win to turn that little small trading portfolio into a much bigger trading portfolio. But I've had these little losses along the way, these little losses. So just keeping things 100% with you guys. But Caspa has been, I mean, if we go to the, I just wanted to quick bring that up. But if we go to the Caspa chart real quick, and I did want to mention Bitcoin before we tune out here. Guys, this is just volatility. There's nothing, I mean, if you put this on a 3-day, and I just put in some, you know, if we were to see a monumental rise in price, I put something in here that to me isn't outside the realm of something realistic. I mean, if you think the market's going to top this year earlier, like I have said, and you see some monumental rise in Caspa, you literally could see something like that. But I don't want to really spend time looking at that. So if we look at a 3-day chart on Caspa, you tell me what looks unhealthy about this, okay? You tell me. Now, there was one view. Maybe I'll save that for the video, actually. But you can see we're breaking out of this. We broke out of this bull pennant. We're just on the ride up. Look at this 12-hour candlestick. That red body is getting thinner and thinner and thinner. I knew, just common sense was telling me, based on the move up in Caspa that we were seeing, this candle was not going to stay very red for very long, okay? That's why I put in a fishing order where I did, because I felt that I could take advantage of the volatility and eat up price action on the way up. Now, I may take another very small leverage position in Caspa, very small, once we see some sort of a little pullback here. But we've had a nice follow through here and recovery, okay? And if we kind of go down to the smaller time frames and we look at the 12-hour, you can see we just missed the 10 simple moving average. If we go lower to the 4-hour, all we did on a lower time frame for Caspa, in layman's terms, from a 4-hour price standpoint, we came back to the median line. We came back to this 20 simple moving average. We found support at the 20 simple moving average, and we've since begun our resumed our move up. So we'll have to see what happens here. But I mean, we're almost in the top 20, guys. Things are looking pretty fucking good for Caspa. Now, real quick before I get to the comments. Oh, Ra, you didn't have to do that, my friend. Thank you very much for the super chat again. I'm glad that you enjoyed the charting. Anytime. Stop by. That is why I'm here, and I'll be back. Actually, Thursday is not a TA Q&A because I'm going to have Tony on. So I'll have to think about doing a live TA Q&A either tomorrow again or on Friday. I'll have to think about that. But anyway, I wanted to talk about the price action in Bitcoin. Now, believe it or not, just like I said for Caspa all those weeks, this is the 12-hour chart, you can still draw a bull pennant here. Yes, you can. But what makes more sense to me, and let's get off the 200 so this auto scaling isn't impacting us. What is more readily apparent on the 12-hour chart, do you see what I see? I mean, you can essentially see prices just ping-ponging up and down, and we're just deciding what we want to do. Now, you guys know this is on a smaller time frame, okay? This is on a low time frame for Bitcoin. You guys know what my opinion is. My opinion, which is founded on education and logic, okay? And I can't tell you with certainty what will happen. I can only assess probabilities. The probabilities have significantly increased that we are going to ultimately see a push towards $60,000. And I said, because we got the weekly close above $58,000, right? So because we closed above this key area of resistance, here's the way this works. And you should know this if you've been here for a while. Let's get off of this and off of this so we can see this more clearly. Candle number 1, which was this prior weekly close, okay? This is the candlestick that closed above $58,000. Excuse me, $52,000. This candlestick, which is the current weekly, this is what's called the confirming candlestick. If this week we close above $52,000, we have confirmation that we can now change this red into green support, which actually this should be green support now, okay? That is monumental, okay? Again, significantly increasing the probability that very shortly we're going to pull off a move to $60,000. Now, at that point, I've shared my thoughts with you. Could we see some sort of a rejection around $60,000 and maybe we pull back to the low 50s or even to 48? A 20% pullback from 6,000. We get some sort of a long wick down to 48. That's certainly possible. But I think we're going to see $60,000 sooner than later. And those probabilities have increased for the reasons that I shared with you guys. Great to see you in here, Rashid, as always. Thank you for stopping by. Evan, a little late to the live stream, but better late than never. Let's take one more TA question. I saw one come in here from Jorge, although I feel like I've looked at this one fairly frequently, and we looked at it recently, so I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm definitely wrong, because I don't... Oh, no, I'm definitely right. So, this is one that we... good call out, Jorge. This is one we have not looked at in quite some time, and the reason I know we haven't looked at this in quite some time, the last time we charted this, we were under this red area of resistance. And I charted all these prior lines for you guys. Now, more than likely, this was one I charted right before I went off the live stream and had my surgery, okay? So we were all the way back down here in October probably October, all right? Since then, we have cleared all of these lines, and these lines are now areas of support. And I'm going to delete some of these just to clean up the chart. We can come back at a future date, but all right, I'll do that. I just don't want this so messy. Okay. So right now, what's going on with price action? Well, we've had a monumental rise up in price, right? And all that I see in this chart, and this is on a weekly, by the way, all that I see on the chart is consolidation. Healthy consolidation. Now, where are my eyes gravitating towards? Because my beautiful lady is not in the room. Where are my eyes gravitating towards? They're gravitating towards all these wicks, okay? And these wicks, as you can see, because we keep hitting this level, this is a strong area of support that I want to see continue holding. You can see it's a band of support, but we're not going to get too cute here. We're just going to say it's around 12 cents, okay? So 12 cents is a serious area of support that we'd like to see hold. If we lose it, you can see the other areas here. Now, in terms of resistance, this is really this is very similar story as the 12-hour chart that we just looked at for Bitcoin. Price essentially is doing this. It's trying to decide what it wants to do. Does it want to break down or break up? Now, given where the market is at, I would highly lean towards this thing breaking up. I mean, once you start to see us breaking past 15 to 16 cents, things are going to get really spicy. And of course, once we break 19 cents, which is the all-time high up here, I mean, we're in price discovery, right? There's only one wick up here. But really 15 cents to... Actually, I'll draw this down here. Anywhere between, you can see it's 14.7. But really, 14.8. But anywhere between really 15 cents to 19 cents, there's a big area of resistance. You can see we have a cross down on the MACD. We want to turn that around. Anything on the smaller time frames I can quick see on here? Any bullish divergence or anything like that? Not really. No, my friend, we're just consolidating, you know. Now, one of the things you can do, real quick, Jorge, one of the things you can do to look for a trend, a potential trend reversal, one of the things I always hit on in this live stream is, let's say you're looking at the macro perspective here on the weekly, which cheers to you if you're doing that. You're ahead of the game if you're doing that. If you're trying to see if there's going to be an indication if we're going to get a downturn or upturn, go to your smaller time frames. Do you see anything on the 3-day? Do you see anything on the daily? Now, the reason you do that is because if you can decipher something bullish or bearish on the smaller time frames, that's going to bleed over into the higher time frames, right? This is a concept that we very routinely speak about. Anything else in the live stream here? Oh, Todd, did I miss you? Oh shit, Todd, I missed your super chat. My apologies. I'm so sorry. Going through all these questions and I missed you, my friend. We're not tuning out until I get to your chart. I'm sorry. Jeprox, good to have you in here. I would need strong indication. It's a great question, Jorge. Let's delve into that tomorrow because I'm running up against the clock here. But I promise to let's talk about that either tomorrow or Friday. It's a great question. I'm not going to lose track of your question. Let me get to Arbitrum because Todd not only had the question but also was kind enough to send a super chat. And so, of course, if somebody super chats me, that supersedes even Jorge's questions. Again, very obvious that the last time we charted this, I bet you we looked at a 3-day. That's just my guess because it's a routine. Look at this. Look at this back here, charting this thing way back in May. I'm going to guess that we were... Where the hell were we? Oh my God. Where would we have been? I think the last time we charted this, wow. This would have been back in July. This would have been back in July of 2023. I mean, we're taught, wow, a long time ago because we held this area. I can see that. We held this area as support. That's the best guess. Anyway, I'm getting caught up here. I'm trying to figure out the last time we charted this thing. All right, let's flip out to maybe a 3-day. Let me see. Now, you can see, I want to clean this chart up because there's way too much going on this chart. I'm going to turn this into green for support. I'm going to take this one off. I really like this band of support here. Okay. So these are major areas of support that I want to see hold. Obviously, the higher the level that we hold, the stronger the move is. This has seen a beautiful trend turnaround here. Obviously, we got the higher highs and higher lows. You can see that. Another thing you can do to assess the relative strength in a chart like this, it's very clean. Again, this trend line does not need to hold. Okay, if this trend line, I'm going to be very clear about this, and this is on a 3-day. At some point, this trend line will break. Okay, if you just think about this logically, and if it's not hanging together for you, let's draw this indefinitely. Do you really think until the end of time, until the year 2030, we're going to hold an upwards trend line? Well, then Arbitrum's going to be up at $1,000. Okay, do you get the point here? But the point is, in the time being, the more we can hold this upwards trend line, the greater the strength that is apparent within the chart, right? There's a strong upwards ascending trend line, and the longer you can go back in history and look at that ascending line going up and price just bouncing off of it, it expresses a lot of strength. Now, it's not the end of the world when and if this breaks, okay? And it will break at some point. Every upwards trend line breaks at some point, okay? So it doesn't necessarily mean anything if we do that, right? Because we still have higher lows and higher highs coming in, right? Higher highs and higher lows are the name of the game, okay? But let's also figure out what's going on with price in terms of where we could expect if we do get... I would draw out another area of support, actually. There's another area of support right around $1.70. Really want to see... The main area that I want to see hold for Arbitrum is between $1.70. It's really this area here. $1.70 to $1.55. This is the major area I want to see hold, okay? Now, in terms of resistance, pretty clean cut. I love clean charts like this, guys. Great question. So, again, red is for resistance. Green is for support. $2.20. Wouldn't be surprised if $2 pops up as an area. Let's see, is this $2? No, $2.11, okay? So there's a major area of resistance right around 211 to 220, okay? And obviously the all-time high, which is up here at, what is this at? 242.5, okay, 243. So really, we're in this zone until proven otherwise. And once we break $2.43, we're in price discovery. I don't know if you guys saw Lithium, which I've been tweeting about. This is a great example of something where, again, and I'm glad I got in. I forget where I got in, to be honest with you. I think I got in around 240 or 230. I forget. But this is another example where, and I drew this on a different time frame, which is why that's going through some candle bodies. But you can see this 265 area was something we kept hitting. Once we broke it, guys, we're in price discovery. I think this thing could fly up towards $5. Very similar to Arbitrum, there's a major area of resistance right here, okay? Prior all-time highs. We've back-tested. It's one of the most bullish things you can do. That prior resistance from all-time highs back here, we came back. We came back to that price. We back-tested it and now have held and flipped it into support. Very, very bullish. It's one of the most bullish and routine things you can see in a chart versus it breaking down and turning bearish, okay? Price indicators, I want to see this 3-day turnaround here. I like what I see in the RSI. There's nothing concerning on the RSI. The other thing I would point out on the 3-day is let's make sure not to build bearish divergence. Again, no one price indicator tells you what's going to happen, but right now we have these lower highs on the RSI coming in. I want to see at some point us break above that ascending or that descending line. But yeah, that's what I see in the price. That's what I see in the price, Todd. I hope you found that helpful. Rashid, man, way too much, man. I appreciate. That's a really nice super chat, man. Thank you so much for all you do, brother. Keep it going. Still need to return the favor. Hey, man, you just let me know when you're down here. Let me know when you're down here. Would love to meet up again. It was a great time, right? Honestly, it was nice going out. I felt like we were buddies from college. That's how it felt. But thank you very much. I really appreciate the support. XRP is always about to moon. Hey, super chats are always welcome, Jeprox. You're welcome, Todd. I hope you found that helpful. What happens to micro caps under 10 million after the first bull run is over? Can you go back to such low levels, or do they go down a smaller percentage than the rest, assuming they're not garbage? Guys, when we peak, and then we're going to sign out. The live stream's gone a little long. When we peak, history tells us that all of your altcoins are going to correct 90%. You'd be fortunate. Your altcoins are going to correct 90% plus. Most of them are going to correct 95, 99%. That's just what history tells us. So until history proves us otherwise, I don't care what your whole Caspa. Guys, I'm going to talk about Caspa. Let's say my sweet spot for Caspa is $2 to $4. Okay, so let's pick a midpoint and say $3, right? Let's say Caspa has its first blow off top at $3. Caspa's going down in a massive bear market in crypto to 30 cents and below. Okay? Bitcoin, if it peaks out at $130,000 or $120,000, right in that range I've spoken about, Bitcoin is going to have another 70-75% correction. Okay? So if Bitcoin is having a 70 to 75% correction, Caspa is definitely going to have a 90% plus correction. Man, Ra, much love, man. Much love on the super chats today. Dear God, you guys are being overly generous today. Just wanted to say thank you again. I'll reiterate what I always say when I come out on the super chats, or when I come out on the live stream. The super chats are never expected, but always well received and appreciated. It's like tipping your waiter. And I definitely appreciate it. Thank you so much, Rob, for the support. I really appreciate all you guys. Whether you're super chatting $10, $20, Greg comes out here like every fucking day and super chats me $5. Todd, $10. Like, you guys, again, and for the guys that, even for everyone who doesn't super chat, I just appreciate the engagement. Really, I genuinely appreciate the engagement coming out here every day. And I'll be a little transparent for a moment before we sign out here, especially after a long day, because I got to tell you, like, just behind the scenes, like, I do a 9 to 5, and I've been having a rough go of it lately at the job with my boss. So, yeah, so it's nice coming out here and refreshing to see everyone. It really is. So, all right, guys. I will be back tomorrow. It'll be the last live stream before Thursday when Tony comes on. Make sure to catch that live stream on Thursday. And really appreciate you guys. So have a good morning, afternoon, or evening wherever you're at. And until next time, let's all spread awareness and let's carry the education forward. Take care, everyone.